All right, next we have Robin to talk about the adoption of the City of Yuba City's fiscal year of 2018-19 operating and capital budgets, and also for 2018-19 appropriations limit.
Good evening again. Tonight's presentation related to the budget adoption will be the highest level overview of the city's budget with a focus on the general fund, since we had a very detailed budget workshop on May 22nd with many more charts and graphs. That full presentation is available on the CAFRs and budget section of the finance page of the city's website. So I would encourage any members of the public that are interested in learning more about the city's budget to take a look at that. Fairly lengthy presentation on our general fund. If there's any questions or comments, I'm always available by phone or by appointment to discuss it with folks. That said, after the high-level overview, tonight my focus will be on the policy-level decisions that I'm requesting your consideration of in the budget resolutions presented before you. This is a summary of the city's revenues for the general fund. It includes 10 years of actual historical results, the fiscal year 18 projected, and the 19 proposed budget. You can see that the proposed revenues for fiscal year 19 are expected to decline slightly compared to those for fiscal year 18. That's due specifically to the expiration of the SAFER grant. So I wanted to point that out. Our revenues aren't actually going down. It's grant revenue that we won't be receiving when the grant expires. This is the historical sales tax revenues of the city. They were higher in fiscal year 16 due to one-time funds received from the elimination of the triple flip at the state. Other than that, sales tax have grown steadily since fiscal year 2010. In this year's projected budget, we increased sales tax at a projection level of 3%. And this doesn't include the net expected offset amount of $460,000 anticipated to be paid to Sutter County under the terms of the Master Tax Exchange Agreement. I'm showing sales tax and property tax separately because there are two highest revenue sources for the general fund. Combined, they make up 63% of our revenues. This is a similar slide for property tax. It shows you what they've done over time. What I have projected in next fiscal year's budget is an increase of 4.3%. This is a summary of the city's general fund expenditures. The gold color is salaries and benefits. The darker gold color is the materials, supplies, and services budgets. The difference between the total revenues projected of $42.4 million and the expenditures of $42.1 million is our budget surplus of $301,000. This is only the second year the city's had a surplus on a budget basis since fiscal year 09. I know this is a busy slide, but I want people in the public and here tonight to see this. It's an estimate of our CalPERS costs that are going up, most certainly, due to that unfunded liability that Pat talked about earlier tonight. The purple line was our projections in 2014. Then the dark blue line on the very top showing that we were peaking out at about $12.75 million were our estimates from 2015. The green line are our most recent projections, a little bit better, still an increase of our PERS costs going up to about $11.5 million. The surplus policy discussions that I've included in the proposed budget resolutions for tonight take into consideration the surplus that's expected from fiscal year 17-18. We project about $2.3 million in savings from vacant positions throughout the city's general fund. Of that, we will need about $113,600 to maintain our 15% Healthy Cities Reserve. After that, setting aside 10% of the negative development impact fee funds for police and fire. Police vehicle purchases included in the fiscal year 18-19 budget that we were short on cash, available in our vehicle replacement fund, $384,500, leaving available $1,407,000 estimated. That staff is recommending we split equally between the Pension Stabilization Trust and the general unallocated CIP fund for future projects. And lastly, I have the city's 5-year financial forecast that shows, based upon our CalPERS increases, we're anticipating that we will go into a deficit position again in fiscal year 21. And our PERS costs are increasing, expected at $923,000 for fiscal year 21. $808,000 for fiscal year 22, and $701,000 in fiscal year 23. So we keep updating our PERS projections every chance we get when we get new information from PERS. Our projections are only as good as the most recent information we've received from CalPERS. We will definitely be monitoring our fiscal health in order to achieve sustainability on a long-term basis. This is something that we look at regularly. I've got a couple of different fiscal models that I use for the city, and I update them typically twice a year for the general fund. With that, I would be happy to answer any questions that you might have. I know that this is a very, very high-level overview. I think I spent probably 45 minutes to an hour talking about just the general fund the other night. So, thank you.
Thank you, Robin. Back to the council for any questions, comments for Robin? Or a motion?
I'll make a comment through the mayor.
Yeah.
And first, I think our finance department does an amazing job in keeping this council advised of what's going on an ongoing basis. And certainly, Robin, you're the leader of that organization, and it's helpful for us. And to look at the historic data and see where we've come from, where we've been spending more than what we were taking in for quite a few years, and then to see the current trend, and then seeing that we could go below that line again. I think that given the conservative forecasting that goes into this, I don't think there's a reason to panic. Not yet. And as this city continues to grow, and we see some of the new businesses becoming involved, whether it be hotels and other structures that are coming into town, I think that gives us great optimism that we're going to be able to move through this. And certainly there are concerns when it comes to CalPERS. We don't have a lot of control over that. That's the unfortunate part. But keeping us, well advised of what's going on, I think has been helpful over the time. And certainly to end a year or to look at a year with projected surplus is certainly it's a blessing. So thank you to you and your staff.
If I might, I've got a couple of my staff members here tonight. Lynn Hale, our accountant, and Spencer Morrison, my accounting manager. They're just part of what I consider a very phenomenal team. And the department heads, my peer group that I work with, they watch their purchase orders and they're purchasing on a daily basis. So I've got a lot of help in putting together this information for you. Thank you.
Like we say, it takes a village, right?
Absolutely.
But thank you for all of the hard work that you all put in there.
And with that, I'd move staff's recommendation.
Through the mayor, just a couple of comments, and it's, I guess, similar to Councilmember Buckland. But you can only take what monies you know that's going to be coming in and not the hypothetical, even though we know that we've got certain businesses coming in, changes going on. And there's been a very strong effort of this council, I know for sure, to increase that revenue base based upon bringing new jobs, new businesses, and making sure that they're strong and stable. So while you do have a deficit coming theoretically as it is now, but we know that you're always very conservative and you don't count your chickens before they hatch or even before the eggs even there. So I'm confident that if we continue the path that we have been pushing, that little green line will not be below that at all, and that we will continue to be fiscally stable and not have to even think about panicking in any way. So I think we have a great path moving forward.
You pay me so you don't have to panic. I will always do my best to bring forth a
right.
green line that exceeds the red line.
Yep. And it prompts us also to work harder at decisions when we see that and go, there's no way we're going to let it do that. So we do work harder because of it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I will second the motion.
Great. So we have a motion and a second. Any additional comments or all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, great. Thank you, Robin.
You.